So here we are, playing Blades in the Dark for session 2. I am the game master, Silver Quill, as my nom de plume goes, or something. I don't know. I'm not very good at this. And unfortunately, we're down one of our players, and we have a new player joining us. So keeping it right at the 2-player level. So
Nice and strong.
yeah.
If it works, it works.
That's exactly right. So, Siege, since your character is returning, why don't you introduce yours first, and then Lydia, you can introduce yours.
I'm Siege, or go by Syrian, or Syrian 1987 online, pretty much everywhere. I'm playing Cantor Moradin, a veteran of the military who talked Hicks, our absent player, into starting this gang. Because there's going to be blue skies at the end of it.
And what kind of character are you playing?
Sorry, I'm a cutter, basically a fighter. I'm pretty darn handy with a sword. If I do say so myself.
All right, Lydia.
So I'm the other half of Silver Quill.
The better half.
Well, depends on the day. My character is Bree, a ghost hunter, more or less, the hunter trait, and comes from a background of raising ghost hunting horses. And find my character sheet again. I can pop it out right here, right?
Yeah, you should be able to pop it out with the 2 overlapping sheets in the upper left corner.
And here's where we find that my computer crashes.
I hope not.
So I do have a hunting pet as part of my hunter ability, and I have a mind link with my horse.
Cool.
And you're playing what playbook?
I am playing the Hound. Hound is my playbook.
Very nice.
Is there a place to have that pulled up?
So if you pop the character sheet out, you can tab between. Basically, there's your web browser, and then there's the character sheet as a separate browser.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
Shiny.
So last time we started off with a simple adventure after we did a little bit of character creation, and the Blue Sky Gang took on a job from a nobleman who they met at Beer Court at Esme's Tavern, and he offered them a job to transport a small crate from the docks to his estate at Brightstone. They took the job and mostly made it through without any issue, although they did run into a group of crows in Crowsfoot, and their disguise was too good. And so the crows decided they wanted to hijack this nice carriage that was passing through.
Yeah, but don't forget, I talked him out. I talked him into delaying for a moment and got us out of there.
Yes.
I got shot for my trouble, but
yes. And then passing into Brightstone, you stopped you stopped at a barricade where some bluecoats were inspecting incoming traffic, and you managed to bribe your way through by paying off the bluecoats with a barrel of ale. And you delivered the package to the estate, including selling off or basically giving the other barrels of ale that you had brought as your disguise to the Lord, and then you departed from there. So something that we should have done right at the end of last session that I forgot about because I needed to go quickly and was trying to get off the stream, is we should have done XP, because XP, you do XP at the end of each session. So let's walk through that real quickly right now, so that you can hopefully, Siege, you can earn some more XP this session. The other thing I will have you note is on your playbook sheet, I reduced down to 0 the insight, prowess, and resolve, 0 out of 6, because those are actually your experience ticks.
Okay.
And the dice roller to the right of that doesn't actually have anything to do with what number you have in there.
Got it.
So yeah.
Okay.
So.
But I need 6 to increase one of them.
Correct.
Okay.
So the way that we do experience is you have a playbook XP trigger, and for the cutter, it's address a challenge with threats or violence. I definitely think that you did that. So you gain an XP for that.
Yay.
So that's going to go into your playbook advancement. And then there are 3 general XP triggers, or 2 general XP triggers, and then 1 for desperate rolls, which you didn't make any desperate rolls last session.
Okay.
When you make a desperate roll, you gain experience, and it goes to the ability that you rolled. So, like if you're making a desperate hunt, then it would go to insight, so on and so forth. The other 2 are, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background throughout the session?
I don't know. I don't really think I did.
I think
Maybe military.
I think maybe 1 XP for that, because you did utilize the old army buddy, the quartermaster from the army.
Right.
To get the uniforms. Which, that's another thing, we didn't actually name that guy, so they might want to name him for if you want to go back to him in the future. So get another experience to that. Now for that one and for the next one, you can put that experience towards your playbook or towards your attributes, whichever you want.
Okay.
So, and then the other one is struggle with issues of vice or trauma, which, since it was an introductory session, there wasn't really any vice or trauma going on. So, but the other thing is doing crew experience. And crew experience is execute a successful smuggling or territory control operation, which you definitely successfully smuggled something. Contend with challenges above your station. I'm going to actually give you 2 for that, because both the blue coats and the crows are a higher tier than you guys are. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. Since it was a pretty quiet, as far as like you didn't let it be known who you were.
Right.
I don't think
even though me staring down the crows was pretty daring, it wasn't really.
Yeah.
We didn't advertise who we were, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah. And then express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. And I think that might be where you get the daring. It was pretty daring to stand up and be like, hey, you don't want to do this. So I'm gonna give you another tick for that.
Okay.
So you got 4, so you're halfway to a crew advancement already.
Yay.
So. Okay. So.
I wish we wouldn't have spent that coin last time, but oh well.
Well, funny that you should mention that. So at the end of a score, you have the payoff, the heat that you get from that score, and then entanglements and downtime. So I kind of, in between sessions here, I've figured out the payoff and the heat and reputation and that stuff. And if you look at the crew sheet, I did already put in. So you now have 4 coins because you got three coins from this score. You got 2 reputation, so I put that in there as well. And you would have gained 2 heat, except you have the just passing through that gives you -1 heat. So you only took 1 heat.
Sweet. And I don't know if we took it into account. I'm getting a weird echo, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting feedback too.
Maybe it's me. Any better?
Yes.
Yep, it was me.
Okay.
That's what I get for trying out new speakers.
It happens.
So yes, I don't believe we actually used just passing through when we tried to go through the guards either, because we get +1 die to try and deceive people.
Oh, that's true. No, you didn't. So we'll have to remember that for next time.
Yep, that's why I printed off copies.
Good call. And then I also rolled for your entanglement. And that's kind of the next phase. So there's the payoff, there's the heat, there's entanglements. Man, I'm still getting some sort of feedback.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Do you need me to put headphones in?
Possibly.
I'm gonna go grab some headphones real quick.
So, sorry to interrupt.
All right, so we're back.
We're back. I need to indulge my vice to get rid of some stress.
So what stress level are you at right now?
I'm at 2.
Okay, so you actually should only be at 1 because you rolled a crit.
I already did that.
Oh, you
I
already
was
did
at
that?
3. I'm now at 2.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you indulge your vice right now, if you roll a 3 or higher, you will overindulge.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
Yeah. So I kind of think that once you start getting to the 4, 5, obviously 6 and higher, you're good.
Right.
Now, that being said, you could do something else as your first, because every downtime you get 2 downtime actions.
Okay.
So it can be vice, it can be recover, because you have a level 1 harm, right?
Yeah. Let's get rid of that.
So okay, so doing a level 1 harm, you have to do the recover action, and to do that, let me just check to make sure. So you have to actually find someone who will heal you because you don't have a cohort who is a healer.
Of course not.
Why would you?
That just makes sense.
Of course. The good thing is with with level 1 harm, once you do the recovery action, that just goes away.
Okay. So once I do the level 1 recovery action, it just goes away.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. What do I have to do to find somebody?
So you've got a couple options. So you can acquire an asset, which is it's a downtime action to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can just try to tough it out, in which case you roll your lowest attribute, and if you roll well enough, then you will heal. Otherwise, you're going to be continuing to be hurting. So basically, those are the two options you have right now. is you can either seek out someone or you can just risk it and roll your lowest attribute. So the issue for you is going to be, do you want to take another downtime action? Because acquiring an asset is a downtime action.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if I find someone, it'd be 2 downtime actions to do.
Correct.
Because I'd have to find them, and then I'd have to get them to heal me.
Yes. And it looks like insight is going to be your lowest, and that's 1. It's going to be 1 die.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I'm going to... I think I'm just going to tough it out.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your
Roll insight.
insight. Oh, it's a 3. So a 3 is a failure.
Of course.
So you are still grazed, or whatever the level 1 harm was. So I suppose you could try to take the recovery action again if you wanted to, or you could just leave it and do something else. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll try it again.
Okay. Hey, there you go. Got a 5.
Yay!
So that clears that level 1 harm there.
Okay. Phew.
All right, now, if you had something else you wanted to do for downtime, you could spend a coin or spend a rep in order to take an additional downtime action. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't think I'm going to.
Okay. So here's the question. So one of the cool things about Blades in the Dark is that it is very much focused on what the players want to tackle. So the question is kind of what does the Blue Skies gang want to accomplish in Duskwall? I mean, do you want to become the best smuggling outfit in town? Do you want to just kind of squeak by with different jobs? You know, how bloodthirsty do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish?
My personal mission is to be as recognized as possible. I want to be famous, basically. And at the same time, I also kind of need to make money because I convinced Hicks that there's money in this. So, those are my motivations, basically.
Okay.
So the more things we can, the more stuff I can do to get famous, the better. I don't know about you, Lydia.
I don't know that I have anything at this point. I'm kind of along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of along to see what it's like running with a gang again after leaving my military posting.
Okay, well.
So now, again...
I guess I'm always looking for weird stuff, probably. Let me look up.
That's perfect, because we own a curio shop. That's our cover.
That's true.
So maybe I'm the front man for the Forgotten Gods.
Could be. Now, I'm trying to think what else we could do.
So I guess here's some options. Do you want to just basically look for a job, like another smuggling job or some other sort of task? Do you want to try and expand your territory? I mean, you have you have those negative and positive ticks, and
Mhm.
as you know, as you kind of pointed out, the fog hounds are along the same lines. They're smugglers. They actually have a ship, uh, and
Unlike us.
unlike you guys, and they're definitely trying to get involved in the world. You also, I mean, you could try to expand your turf and try to take turf away from somebody else to expand the power of your gang.
I like that idea. Or trying to get a stronger hold on the territory we have. I don't know how those mechanics work, but
So the way that you increase your hold is by gaining rep.
okay.
So basically, the more scores you do, the more rep you gain, and as you gain rep, you gain holds.
Hold.
Hold,
And
yeah.
then the more
But
Okay.
the interesting thing is, and if you go over to the crew sheet,
Yep.
and Lydia, this is in the Google Drive as well. There should be a separate crew sheet, and you should be able to find the smugglers in there. There's on the smuggler sheet there are the claims, and there's turf, and then there's different ones that have names that give you different benefits. The turf, if you try to take over turf, that actually ticks off going from right to left down on the rep tier. And so
Okay.
as you gain rep, the more turf that you have, the less rep you need to gain in order to increase your hold.
Oh.
So like
So I think turf it is.
so like you've got it's a 9-point scale, but if you had 3 turf, you would only have to get 6 rep in order to advance.
So we're smugglers, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's the crew. Okay.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that you can only smuggle. I mean, you can.
Okay. So do the Blue Skies legit have a Curiosa shop?
Yes.
Okay.
That is right now. That's the only piece of territory that the Blue Skies own.
Okay.
It's their lair.
I'm imagining it's basically this little, almost a shack
It's
with a
kind of,
hand-painted sign on it.
so yeah. So the night market, which is the region of Duskwall, which if you look at the map on Roll20, up in the upper right corner is night market, and that actually has like multiple tiers of streets. And it's actually a pretty wealthy area. And so I'm kind of imagining that the curio shop is like in the bottom tier, so it's like really in the dark, and it's kind of like in the stone, the mason work of the foundation of the city, and kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
People wander.
It's got
by.
like old wood that's just
Oh,
completely stained and oiled, and
yep.
the rats down there may or may not be alive and part of our collection.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah.
So, what if, as we're expanding our turf, what was that noise?
I rolled the die.
Whew. Sorry. We use the My Forgotten Gods, a jumble of cults and mysteries which attempt to follow the old ways. There are many cults. What if we, found or heard of something that we thought might be interesting to seek out and add to the shop?
But then we're running kind of against them because they're going to look for the same thing.
Well, using those connections a little bit, maybe.
Oh, right.
Like,
Okay. Yeah, no.
like using those connections to kind of expand turf. I don't exactly know how
So
expanding turf works.
So there are a number of forgotten gods. Is there one in particular that you want to be associated with? And if so, do you want me to roll randomly on here, or do we want to pick that at another
Where
point?
do I find those?
I have that on my I basically paired off, like the character creation bits for everybody into PDFs, but I have that in the main PDF that I have on my computer.
He's got secrets.
Yeah. Since it's I didn't want to share the whole book.
Right.
So I just paired out the character creation and crew creation. But yeah,
Pick one.
I think that we can. Well, how about you roll 2d6 for me?
Okay. Because maybe there's a cult that we can kind of go and muscle in and tell them that we'll be your purveyors of cult-related items.
Come one, come all. You need something for a sacrifice? We got it.
You need a rat? We catch them, you buy them.
So you just type /roll.
Oh, there we
and
go.
then 2d6 into the chat. Hey, there we go.
Woo!
So we got a 1 and a 6. So that is the silent song.
Ooh, mysterious.
How does that sound?
Sounds mysterious.
Okay. You want to roll 2d6 for me again, and we'll get their cult practices.
I actually have to do a space, don't I? Or is it?
It's /roll.
Huh? There we go.
So we got 3 and a 4. Oh. So,
Rolling those sevens, babies.
so their cult practice, the silent song, their cult practice is the acquisition of severed body parts, the heads, hands, and tongues of heretics and apostates.
Oh yeah, we can do that, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
No moral qualms about that whatsoever.
I'm agnostic. I don't care.
My vice is going to catch up with me quickly, isn't it?
Possibly. So is this the cult that Bree is connected to, or is it more of do you see her as being connected to one particular cult, or as being known amongst the various cults of the Forgotten Gods as someone who can get stuff done?
Yes. I get stuff done.
Okay.
I supply. Meet those demands. And my bloodthirsty steed.
So you want to use this connection to these Forgotten Gods to expand your turf.
Yes.
All right. So how do you want to do that? Do you want to... I mean, is it the sort of thing where you're going to go to somebody else's territory and start chopping up people and basically like wipe out like some faction's safe house, and you are going to gather these hands, heads, and tongues and deliver them to the silent song? What kind of... how are you using this connection? So I guess
that works for me, or I guess I was leaning more a little towards taking over the cult's place. I don't know. What do you think?
I think we need to make friendly before we can try and take over.
Death!
Yep.
Yeah. So,
So, did the Foghounds have like a small ship we could attack?
absolutely.
And use their heads, hands, and tongues to satisfy
Yeah,
the cult?
we're eliminating a competitor, and we're helping ourselves.
Two birds, one stone.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're going after Foghound turf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you need to find some of their turf. So you can either you can make some sort. How do you want to go about finding a piece of turf that's theirs that you can take over? So this is where Blades in the Dark is fiction first. So tell me how you want to accomplish something, and then we'll worry about what's on your character sheet and what ability you're going to roll.
Well, since going after them was my idea, I'm going to spend some time down on the docks. Just and probably spend a coin's just generic. Yeah, I'm going to spend some money getting to know the dock workers. Like buying him drinks at the bar and stuff like that.
So I think. All right, yeah. I mean, if you, again, I think like last time, if you want to just spend the coin, then you'll get the information. Otherwise, you can roll for it and kind of see what you get.
If I were to roll for it, what would I be using?
Well, how? I mean, it sounds a little bit like consort to me.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah, because I mean, you're. I mean, the way you're talking, you're going down to the docks. You're chumming up with people. You're, making friends. Maybe you have a friend that you want to tap to figure out more contacts and that kind of stuff. The other thing is if you are tapping a friend, if you're basically using a friend when you're doing this, you get an extra die. So
Well, I'm not thinking of anybody that I could tap as a friend, really.
okay.
So I'm just going to roll for it.
All right, perfect.
Position?
It's going to be controlled and standard.
Wait. No extra dice. Rolling. Six.
Nice. Here we go again.
You missed it, Lydia. Last time I rolled like 4 6s in a row.
Nice.
I think every single roll that you rolled was a 6, except maybe one. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you spend some time down on the docks, getting to know people. So now, did you say you were? So they have one ship, and their one ship is the Foghound. It's the name of their ship.
Makes sense.
And it is a steamship. Now that is their lair.
Their pride and joy.
Yeah. It's their lair. So I mean that's definitely like the probably most defended.
Probably won't go for that. Do they have like a warehouse or something in the docks that they keep stuff at?
Definitely. Yeah, they they have a warehouse. It's got easy access to the water, so they can bring the ship up, and it's not where they moor the ship either, so it's not like that it can be easily connected to the fog hound. So it's easily accessible for bringing in stuff, and it's in kind of part of an out of the way part of the docks, and it should be pretty straightforward to find it and
assault the place,
acquire it. So yes, so you now know a location of one of their spots.
Excellent.
What's your plan? How do you want to approach this? So this is where you decide, do you want to just straight up assault it? Do you want to try to sneak around? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking take the place by storm and kick in the door. Kick in the door, kick in their teeth, and then, collect their teeth and heads and tongues. And
oh, no, they don't do the teeth. Teeth, that's sacrilegious.
Yeah, you'll
well, we have to pick them up, though. If we're going to take it over, I don't want teeth on the ground. But, no, I'm thinking just kick in the door.
What do you think about that, Bree?
Oh, I went and took all those sneaky traits.
Well, I mean, you can sneak around while I kick in the door.
So here's the deal. So you can do linked plans where you can have one plan kind of set up the other plan as a diversion. You can just do one plan. Kind of depends on how you want to approach it.
Well, I can be a diversion while you sneak in if you're really good at sneaking. I'm kind of good at killing things, so.
Where do I? Oh, I can't find my ability. Oh, wait.
Illumination?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have two. I do have 2 marks and problem. What would that look like? How are you thinking that would look like if you created a diversion and I snuck in and started slitting throats?
You would ask me that. I don't know. I was imagining I'd just walk up with sword and pistol and just literally kick in the door and start shooting and killing.
Is there any place where we could create kind of a kill shoot funnel? And does my horse have the ability to kill people too?
Probably not directly, but I mean,
bashing in heads with hooves.
If you trampled over somebody, I'm pretty sure that would do significant damage. So it looks like you can either do a setup where one person basically rolls to give the other an advantage, or you can do 2 separate plans where you have basically their own series of rolls. So one would be just one roll as like a diversionary setup, and then.
Well, I mean, since our plan is to go in and kill them basically and collect their stuff, then I don't see why we can't do 2 plans and then have one be my frontal assault and the other be her sneaking around back. Because even if I am attacking the front, there's going to be people that run away because there's always cowards in these groups, and she can catch them on their way out.
I'll cover the rear.
All right. Sounds like we've got a plan then. So I'm going to need 2 things. So it sounds like for the assault, the detail that I need is the point of attack, and it sounds like it's the front door.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not being subtle about this.
You're just gonna walk right up and just kick the door in, and
we're a daring gang.
There
This
you
is
go.
pretty ballsy.
That is pretty daring. So this from the stealth side of things, what entry point do you want to sneak into this place? So, like, do you want to come in by the water? Do you want to, jump over from an adjoining roof? Pick the locks in the back? I mean, what are you thinking?
So where are they located?
So they're located in a warehouse on the docks
Okay.
that is along the water, and it's probably let's see.
Down in the lower left quadrant here.
Yes, if I can remember how to do a ping.
Ping.
That was me. You just hold the left mouse button.
Oh, hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so I was thinking down kind of along the water there. Across from Crow's Foot. So it's actually a little bit of ways from your spot. So it'll be a nice spot where you can bring stuff in on the docks and store it there until you figure out your plans for smuggling it throughout the city.
Expanding.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, the water's a great entrance. The roof's a great, do the Assassin's Creed thing and jump roof to roof. Just don't jump on any hay bales.
All right. So is there anything you want to do to set up before you start making your move? I mean, well, first of all, what load out are you taking? Are you taking a light, standard, or a heavy load?
I'm taking a standard load.
Okay. Got 5 ticks on there. What about you, Bree?
I am coming around the back, watching the back exits, and what weapons do I have essentially,
So
or is it a little bit more just thematic?
So if you go over to your character, the character PDF, and you look at the Hound, all of the items under there you could have, and then that's where you pick your loadout, and you either have 3 items, you have 5 items, or you have 6 items. And so throughout the adventure or throughout the score, you can basically, as you need them. So like if you come up against somebody and they like run smack dab into you and needing a knife, you can check off the knife and be like, okay, I carried a knife with me. So you don't have to actually decide what you're carrying with you until you need it, and then you have basically 5 slots or 3 slots or 6 slots depending on your loadout.
Okay, and this is what you were telling me earlier. I carry my Spirit Bane charm with me.
Yes, anything in italics you have with you automatically.
And does that take up a slot?
No.
Okay.
Anything in italics doesn't cost a slot.
Okay.
The only reason it has a checkbox is because you still would check it to use it. So you'd be like, oh, I need my Spirit Bane charm to fend off this ghost. At which point, once you've said that you have it with you, I can, in the future, as a consequence for a bad roll, I can do something to that equipment. So I could be like, oh, you drop your Spirit Bane charm down a grate and it falls into the river and flows away.
Okay. So I could actually be sitting a little ways away and have my long rifle.
Absolutely, since you are the Hound and you are skilled in longer range combat, you could absolutely do that.
Okay, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit just a little bit ways away, and kind of watch his back in a way to make sure that people don't come around from the back to
Outflank me?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, I mean, it kind of sounds like in that case you're basically backing him up in his assaults.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just do a single engagement.
But I'm ready to jump in if I need to, because I've got my long rifle, but I've also got my pair with me.
Right, and that's
my pistol pair with me.
Right, and that's, I think the only difference here is if you were both doing separate plans, we'd have to roll 2 different engagement rolls to see how it goes for you at the start, basically. But since you're basically backing up his play, we can do 1 engagement roll, and that'll cover both of you.
Okay.
And then, I mean, you'll still definitely be within range to get involved quickly. So, all right. So I think if these guys are the Foghounds are tier 1.
I don't remember how good of a hold they have on their stuff.
I think it's firm. I wish I had marked down the factions.
It is firm.
It is firm. Okay. So I'm going to say that these guys have standard preparations. So this is going to be a 2d6 engagement roll.
Which we haven't really covered engagement rolls yet, so.
So I think it's actually going to be a 1D engagement roll. So at the start of the score, you pick your plan, which we've picked as assault. You give a detail, which is the front door. And then you pick your item loadouts. And then the engagement roll basically determines how well the beginning goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that roll lets us set the tone for, all right, this is where things are at. So we can jump basically right into the action.
Okay.
So typically it would be a 2-die roll because they have standard preparations, but they are a tier higher than you are. So that's going to actually give them, it's going to take a die away from that. So that's going to take it to 1 die. So if one of you wants to roll 1d6.
I got it.
All right.
Another 6.
So that is a good outcome. So the PCs exploit the opportunity established by the detail. There are no sudden surprises as the action begins. So, Bree, you set up on top of or by like a nearby. It's kind of like a 1-story building. So you kind of like it's something that you can easily scale down and run across the street to the warehouse. But you're able to watch the corners to make sure nobody comes up behind him. And Cantor saunters.
I'm just walking down the street. I've got my sword clearly on my hip.
People are kind of, some people are like watching you as you walk past, and you know, like you've got the dock workers and the various people.
The ones I've talked to are not here.
Yeah. People who have been talking to you are like, oh, maybe we should leave now. And you know, people are starting to move away as you are walking with purpose, and you walk straight up to the front door of this warehouse. And what do? They do not see you coming at all.
Foghounds, your reckoning has come, and I'm just gonna boot the door.